This is Brian Rogers for BBK Performance to show you how to add even more horsepower, torque, and throttle response to the 2005 to 2010 Mustang GT using our two-piece SFI pulley kit, part number 1653. Note that you'll need a 3-prong pulley puller to complete this installation. We begin with the baseline dyno run. The result, 260 rear wheel horsepower and 266 foot-pounds of torque. Begin by removing the air inlet tube. Then, loosen the water pump pulley bolts. We do this with the belt still on to help keep the pulley from spinning. Use the head of a 1/2-inch ratchet inside the square hole in the belt tensioner. Then push down on the ratchet and move the belt off of the alternator pulley. Now remove the 4 bolts and the water pump pulley. The driver's side alternator mounting stud is a little bit too long, and it needs to be replaced with the supplied bolt to keep it from making contact with and damaging the BBK water pump pulley. So loosen the nut, then use a 3/16 socket to remove the stud. The stud on our test car was previously damaged, and it couldn't be removed properly. So we use an alternative method for shortening the stud. This is the worst case scenario. Unbolt the 2 reservoirs from the fan shroud and set them aside. Disconnect the wiring harness from the fan, then unbolt and remove the fan from the car. Remove the crank bolt, take the washer off of the bolt, then hand thread the bolt back into the crankshaft. This will be your landing point for the tip of the 3-prong puller tool. Use the puller tool to grab onto the 3 perches inside the harmonic balancer and remove it from the car. Remove the crank bolt, then apply a thin bead of RTV silicone to the keyway on the crankshaft. Line up the key in the BBK balancer pulley with the keyway on the crankshaft and push the BBK pulley on by hand to seat it. Put the washer from the stock crank bolt over the large supplied installation bolt and hand thread it into the crank. And note that it is absolutely imperative that you do not cross thread or damage the threads in the crankshaft, so use care and do not force this bolt to start. With the bolt hand threaded, use a ratchet to drive the pulley on until there's about a 1/4 inch of space between the back of the pulley and the timing cover. Then remove the installation bolt, swap the washer onto the stock crank bolt, and use that to drive the pulley all the way down. We like to follow the specifications given by Ford for the harmonic balancer. The first step is to torque it to 66 foot-pounds. Step 2 is to loosen the bolt 1 full turn. Step 3 is to tighten it back again to 37 foot-pounds. And step 4 says, tighten the bolt an additional 90 degrees. Now install the BBK water pump pulley and reinstall the belt. And here's a handy belt routing diagram if you need some help with that. Reinstall the fan, plug in the electrical connector, then reinstall the reservoirs. The last step is to reinstall the air inlet tube. Now let's see how these pulleys do on the dyno. How about an additional 8 horsepower and 10 foot-pounds in the mid-range and top end? That's a really good gain for just changing the diameter of 2 pulleys on a naturally aspirated car. And keep in mind that SFI means that this harmonic balancer has been tested to over 12,500 RPM and it's approved for competitive motorsports. For more information on this or any of the hundreds of parts that BBK makes for late model cars and trucks, check out bbkperformance.com. Here on the left, try our multiple search options or watch fun and informative product detail and installation videos. Up here on the top, use the tabs to order or download the latest catalog, find a dealer in your area, or read and download from our instruction sheet library that covers 20+ years of BBK products. Don't forget to check out our homepage and blog to see what's new. Thanks for watching.